because she's wandering around here.
Oh, hey man, all cats are welcome on the podcast. It's all
Yeah,
good.
I have
So,
two.
we're now recording, and joining me now all the way from Norway. Which city exactly in Norway?
Vennesla,
Vandeslo, and is it in the south, north, or
south.
south? Like closest cities with Oslo, or
No, it's like 4 hours from Oslo, I think.
oh wow, towards like the North Sea, or towards like Sweden and all that.
Well, south it would be like the Kristiansand, that's very south, like at the bottom,
Got you. Well, it's my man and Astaroth. He's with his project called I don't want
Formorkelse.
I don't want to butcher it.
You can just call it Eclipse because that's the translation.
Oh wow, okay. So man, this is your episode, Astaroth, man. I'm thrilled that you're joining me all the way from Norway. And so how'd you hear about the podcast from all the way out there?
Well, first of all, I watch Boris from Triglav very
Okay.
frequently, and when I saw he was going to be a guest here, I thought, well, I love podcasts and I love metal. This is perfect for me. So I just looked you up and listened to a few episodes, and I quite dig it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the support. Boris is a really good dude. He actually helped me a lot with some of my latest setups with this thing, especially with the camera issue and all that. As funny as I am about being on camera, he convinced me to do so otherwise. So thanks, Boris. But anyway, so how long you been playing music, man?
I started in like I'll turn my mic up a tad bit here. There we go. I started in like 2020 with my first project, which I actually have the logo for right here. It's called Dark Revenant.
Oh wow.
Um, and I'm still working on the first record on that one, but it'll come when it comes. But I started around that time, and just been getting better and better ever since.
Yeah, the music sounds very, very detailed in nature. It's very complicated as far as the song structures and everything. It's you know, I appreciate like what you bring to the table as far as the tremolo picking and just some of the atmosphere that you have on each song is
Mm.
just dark. I mean, it sounds like you're definitely a student of the game. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that black metal is like my number one music genre like ever. It's been for years. So yeah.
So, tell me what life was like growing up in Norway, man. Like,
Well, this is going to sound pretty ironic, but I grew up in a Christian family, and I mean, it had its highlights. But when I went to like middle school, I started I started to listen to black metal, and I heard other people's viewpoints,
mhm.
and I gradually agreed more and more with them because I thought to myself like, what the fuck is this Christian shit? And when I first started listening to it was Mayhem. That was my first introduction to metal, no, black metal. I mean, and then my parents thought I was like possessed or something in the very beginning. Now they don't care. Now they think it's cool, but in the beginning they were like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm sure. Sure.
Yeah.
And, being in a Christian home, I mean, like, did you have any kinda exposure to any other, music besides black metal?
Oh, all the fucking time. Like there was country music being played repeatedly. That was like the thing that was played the most in my home, I think. But other than that, it was like my uncle. He listened to like ACDC and stuff, and then my big brother listened to like bands like Disturbed and that type of thing. And I
Yeah.
was intrigued, And fun fact about me, I'm a big fan of Batman. So when I heard a death metal song for the first time, I thought to myself, this kind of sounds like Batman singing. So I was just like clicked at once.
Follow me to Gotham.
Swear to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, wait, like American, like pop country in your
No, it
house?
was like Norwegian Christian
Oh,
country.
no. Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah,
I'm glad we settled that because I was like, man, like I never would have guessed, not in Norway.
yeah,
So, did you are you? What's your primary instrument? Was it is it guitar?
yeah. It was guitar, but I've always I was born with a good singing voice, so it's primarily guitar and vocals. Yeah,
And pretty much everything is it just programmed like drums and
yeah. The drums are programmed.
play the bass yourself?
Yeah, I play the bass. Yeah.
So, what when did your the band Eclipse had when did you start it
Uh,
full
It
time?
was I started it in the spring actually,
Oh, wow.
because I was trying to work with Dark Revenant, but I didn't have like the right inspiration for it,
Mhm.
and it was a fucking horrible time, spring, because I went to a school that was not very good for me mentally. So I thought, I love DSBM and I love black metal. So I just thought, fuck it. My inspiration is at the top right now. Let's just do something about it. And I thought about names and stuff, and then I listened to Emperor's Nightside Eclipse,
Yeah.
and then I thought Eclipse, that's a fucking cool name. But then I thought it's kind of overused. But then I translated it, and it became Sol Formorkelse, which means sun eclipse.
Mhm.
But then I just took away sun, and it became Formorkelse, which, in my opinion, which is much cooler.
Yeah, it does sound. I mean, not. I hear your pronunciation. I mean, I was butchering it. Leading up to the to meeting you, I was like, man, I don't want to butcher this. I'm just gonna go ahead and ask him what the name is and just go smooth everything out. But yeah, Fomokaska.
Formorkelse, yeah.
I see. There I go. I'm
You can
trying.
just say you can say Formorkelse if that's better for you.
Immortals.
Whatever, say it like you will.
Terrible, man. Just excuse my Southern Louisiana accent here.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So what? I mean, you said school sucks, but
Yeah.
what was it like growing up in a Norwegian school? Because I mean, I everything about Norway, obviously, I'm intrigued by it. I've visited your country like 5 times already.
Damn.
Yeah, I want to. I eventually want to move there. That is the end goal.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, primary school was pretty decent because we didn't have homework or grades, which is you have that in the US, right?
Oh, we got grades. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
We got primary school is what like I mean would consider like maybe first through.
first through seven is here in Norway.
Yeah, yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have homework or grades, so we were chilling really, but they were pretty good at scaring us. Like, if you don't do your homework, you're going to fail life and whatever. So we did it anyway. Most of us. Well, I stopped in like sixth grade, but that's besides the point. So primary school was pretty decent. I was like, I was into like movies and Marvel and stuff. But then this one time, because my teacher from fifth grade to seventh grade was a guitarist in a industrial metal band.
Oh yeah.
They're called Ground Zero System, very underground, really. But
Mhm.
he showed me a music video of theirs, and I was fucking blown away 3 times in 3 minutes. Because first of all, it was so heavy, like heavier than I was used to at that point. Because I was getting into like ACDC and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But then he puts on this death metal, and I was blown away 3 times. And then the next year, crazy coincidence, the bassist of Blood Red Throne comes
Oh,
in our class.
I know that band. I saw them live
Yeah,
Inferno at the John D venue.
yeah,
So good. So
yeah.
good.
They're great guys, but their bassist Stian became like assistant teacher, if that's what you call it. And he was like, "Yeah, I play bass and long hair and stuff like that." So I thought, "Oh, cool! I gotta check out this band." And then I listened to Blood Red Throne, and it's even heavier than what Ground Zero System was. So that's where like death metal started for me. So it was like it started with Blood Red Throne, and Ground Zero, and then Cannibal Corpse, and it just rolled on and on and on and on. And then Norwegian black metal, and yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. As far as the death metal, I mean, did you like gravitate towards like the Florida death metal sound, like that classic stuff, like Death, Obituary, and
That came kind of later. I started listening to those types of bands in like 2021, I think, late 2021. My first from that side of the US was Deicide. Are they from Florida?
DSI? Yes.
Yeah, they were my first in like that scene. And then Death and Obituary, I never really got into, if I'm being honest. But Deicide and Death, fantastic fucking bands.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely the more darker of.
Yeah,
Well, I consider the darker parts of
yeah,
Fluidity and death metal. That's for sure. Um, man, yeah. Did you get into Death's Human album?
yeah, yeah. That's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah, that's so good. I mean, that is one album I could just turn on like any time of day, whatever mood, and gets me amps.
Yeah. Well, I'm my favorite Death album is probably Symbolic. That's like the peak of their career, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt. I really love the experimentation and
Yeah,
like I guess the fusion with Paul Sandoval and
yeah.
Chuck and
Gene Hoglan.
yeah, and Sean Reinert as well. Man, it was just fucking killer. Um, so why is it? Maybe you could answer me. Like what you said, you left school in the 6th grade.
I didn't leave school. I just stopped doing homework.
Oh, you stopped your homework. Okay, all right. But to say, I was like, man, because like, why are Norwegians so goddamn smart?
Well, I guess I'm the one exception that's not really that
I don't
smart,
know
but
about that, man.
yeah.
What about that? You put together some really intricate arrangements with your music, so that's something to be said about you. So you're not one nothing not smart about you. That's for sure.
Thank you. Well, why are Norwegians so fucking smart? Well, first of all, our education system is leaps and valleys better than the one in the US, which I have, um, which I know of.
Yeah.
Because first of all, we don't have grades in primary school. I think that's a very smart move, in my opinion. Because grading your work in like first grade, that's bullshit to me. You're supposed to just be your brain is supposed to be mush at that point. You're not really supposed to have
Right.
like deep thoughts when you're in the first grade.
Yeah.
Um, from seventh to from fifth to seventh, you're like starting to develop some like deeper thoughts, but it's not like mind blowing. But then you get to middle school. My fuckity fuck, what a shit that can be. That's like that's one. Yeah, that was the definition of hit or miss. Because yeah, you had grades, you had homework and all that, but it didn't really matter. At least not in the first 2 years, in eighth and ninth. You were just really chilling. But the people around you, they are like the hormones are like at their peak at that point. So everyone is like either energetic as fuck or they're angry as fuck. There's no in between.
I noticed that whenever I visited Bergen, and
Yeah.
I was on one of the buses like leading into the center of town, and they had these teenagers, and there was so fucking feral on
Yeah.
the bus, and it's like they could not keep still. And I was like, man, teenagers in America, at least not where I live, act like this. They're just like really like so much fucking full of energy and uh just very extroverted in in their moves. And it's like, and then you have, and then I'll see like some other kids are just so quiet, well reserved. It's one or the other over there. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, that really depends because the people from Bergen, they're like one or the other. There, you have the one type like Abat from Immortal. He's from Bergen. He's kind of best of both worlds because he's like chill and calm when he needs to, and he's like you've seen interviews of him like
Oh yeah.
over the top.
I actually met him briefly too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was getting tattooed by Yannicka. Uh,
Yeah.
every year I went to Inferno since 2022. She covered my entire right arm, and the last session that I was sitting in, I noticed a guy with long black hair. Was not really anything suspect. He was wearing a hat and glasses, but I was like,
Of
got
course it
close.
was.
I was like, that's a bot. I was like, that's a bot right there. And then he and Yannicka was talking in Norwegian, and she looks over to me. She's like, he wants to see your arm. And at the time, I was in this position, like, it was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Let me just turn over for you a bot and check it out. And he just looks at me. He looks at Yannicka, looks at my arm. You're a very brave man. And just took off. It was so awkward.
Yeah, I haven't met him personally, but I have seen him live at the Tons of Rock. He was hilarious. Like when he played Blashirk, Mighty Ravendark, he came out with this like horn helmet.
Yeah.
I started to laugh my fucking ass off because that's like perfection right there.
Yeah. I mean, his costumes get like really over the top, and I love that. I think like that's more of a testament to his like passion for Kiss and
Yeah,
things of that nature, because I mean that's everyone, like 10 years older than me out there. I mean, I'm a fan of Kiss, but like the people older than me
yeah.
really love Kiss.
I see because they grew up in that time. I think.
Oh yeah. And like and the AC, like you mentioned your uncle was into ACDC, man, and
Yeah,
that is one band that always comes up in conversation, like no matter who I talk to. But I guess the per capita in Norway is like ACDC. It's like everyone loves ACDC, and rightfully so, man. They fucking just
yeah,
kick ass. Like best fucking hard rocking band
yeah.
that's ever been.
The and they're still going strong. If I'm not mistaken, they start playing live recently.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're ever gonna die. That's for sure. They're one of those bands that
Ah,
like Rolling Stones, man. They're just gonna keep doing it till they fucking die on stage. I suppose.
Angus Young is immortal. That's
Oh yeah,
quote of the day.
100%. So, as a kid in Norway,
Mm.
Astaroth, what's it like growing up in a country where you're a fan of black metal? I mean, is it is it kind of like a word of mouth thing, or are you exposed to it on TV uh, locally over there, or have you just I guess how did you discover it initially, or hear about it?
Um, it's kind of blurry, but I think it was actually I think it was a Gorgoroth concert, if I remember correctly. I was browsing through YouTube, and then suddenly I just saw a thumbnail of a sheep's head on a stake, and I
Yeah,
was like, interesting. And I clicked in. I don't think I've been that scared in my entire life watching a
really.
fucking performance. Gal,
Yeah, yeah.
his stage presence is like
Lovely guy, lovely.
unlike any other. And I take a lot of inspiration from him when it comes to like my frontman skills when I practice them.
Mhm.
But it was Gorgoroth, and then I discovered Immortal with the All Shall Fall video, and that I was like, this is fucking cool. Because compared to Gorgoroth, these guys were actually having fun, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you get
Because a bot with like the crab walking or the demon walking.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it just gets, I love how the majority of black metal bands, I mean, they take it, it's serious. I mean,
Yeah,
it's such a serious subject matter and all that, but it doesn't stop a bot from just having a fucking good time and just doing what he does.
yeah,
And I think, the world seems like a happier place with him in it.
yeah. Of course, for sure.
Yeah, so man, let's talk about this album that you put together.
Yeah.
Um, can you explain, what emotions went into it? Like what if you want to care to share that with me?
Well, I what emotions were put into it? Quite frankly, everything that I felt at the time. Every ounce of like stress I had on me, put in. Every sense of like suicidal thoughts, put in. Every thoughts of self harm, put in. Everything. So I bled making that album, and I made it in like a week and a half, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the first song, "Rundans of Hopelesshet," released that first as a single, and I thought, yeah, I'll make 2 more songs, and we'll see from there. And yeah, one thing led to another, and bam, now it's out on Spotify.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you did because I had some to listen to and to put the face, I guess, put the cover art with some music, and just kind of get a feel for your identity in the music and that and feel that emotion that you're conveying, you know.
Yeah,
And it's definitely dark. It's definitely fucking you know I dig it. I dig it a lot. I mean,
thanks, man.
it's. I think that is probably one of the subgenres that I've been getting more and more involved with was depressed suicide black metal,
Mm,
and maybe it's because what I'm feeling lately. I don't know. I mean, I'm usually a
yeah,
pretty good dude. I'm usually pretty happy and well adjusted, but I black metal has always been a passion of mine. And I love hearing what the newer generation is doing these days, and uh it's very comforting. There's people like yourself who are going with that emotion and pouring that raw energy into song because there's no need to harm yourself.
no,
There's nothing that serious where you need to harm yourself. That's for sure.
yeah. Well, I don't really remember much of like the recording process of that album because when you're in that let me say sphere of like depression and shit, you don't really remember much afterwards because it's like a fog, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm doing better now. I'm working on a second album, but I'm doing at least a little better.
Yeah.
It's like it comes and goes sometimes, but I'm doing better. Like as of right now, I'm kind of on the good side, but it can flip uh, sometimes.
Well, I get it, man. And I'm just wondering, I'm just curious, does weather in Norway like play a huge factor on your personality? Because I know like we're in winter time right now. I know like the winters can be harsh on the Norwegian folk, and doesn't allow like a whole lot of time outdoors or whatnot. And like, is it just being isolated in your home? Does that play a huge factor in your emotional psyche?
Well, uh, in some ways, but the thing about me, I'm a pretty introverted guy in real life.
Yeah.
So I stay home for the most part anyway. But winter is kind of like just inspiration for me to write more and put that like cold energy into like the music. It's kind of hard to do that when it's springtime, but I could do it. I managed to do it somehow. I don't know how, but I don't know why. But I become more creative when I'm down. I don't know why that is, but it is how it is anyway. But if anything, winter just helps me, write, and I like the vibe of winter too.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, we in Louisiana over here, we barely get any type of cold weather whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'm only wearing a hoodie, and it's December 1st. Like it got as low as what 37 degrees over here, like just above freezing.
it's pretty fucking cold.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. But like it comes and it goes. It's like it's all right. Y'all had some cool weather. Now fuck off.
Yeah.
Y'all going back to the goddamn sauna.
Yeah, because it's pretty hot over there most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. I mean, it's like you during the summer you want to take at least 3 showers a day. It just
Yeah,
it's it's stupid. It's just stupid hot, man.
no.
But so what you looking forward to in the upcoming weeks or months? As far as like, are you going to be attending any kind of shows, playing any shows?
We have our first gig booked in April on
Oh hell
like
yes!
a small rock festival in 2 hours away from here. We have 2 gigs planned. That's the one. It's like a very mini festival with like local bands, and
Mhm.
then there's a quite bigger one with another band, which is called Celestial Scourge,
Yeah.
where actually the bassist of Blower Throne is in. So that's pretty fucking cool. So as far as gigs goes, that's the two we have thus far. But there's a lot of places I want to play.
Yeah. Which are?
Hulen in Bergen is a pretty cool place,
Yeah.
and then Rockefeller in Oslo, where Inferno is lots of time. Any place I can get my hands on, really.
Are any of the guys in Blood Red Throne like pushing your name, pushing the band's name to get more gigs by any chance?
Um, well, in some ways, I talked to the vocalist of Celestial Scourge, and he was like, "Yeah, you can support our band, whatever." So we get more traction by doing that. So in some ways, yeah,
Well, that must be really promising
yeah,
and hopeful for you, man. Just to play more music because I'm sure playing live, will definitely help inspire more tunes and more riffs.
yeah,
Yeah, because that's a whole nother vibe in itself. I'm sure.
yeah.
Well, man, are you by any chance going to be in the Oslo area in April, like during Inferno?
Most likely, yes.
Well, I will be there
Yeah, perfect.
again.
Again, yeah. How many times have you been there?
22, 23, and 24. 3 times at Inferno, 1 time at Beyond the Gates.
Mm. Yeah, Beyond the Gates is another one I would love to attend,
Oh, man.
especially this year. No, last year. Then it was almost strictly black metal bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was able to catch Hordem Rife again. I saw Hordem Rife my first year at Inferno, and I was just totally blown away by them.
yeah, they're
And
great.
their set was on the same day as Watain at Beyond the Gates this past year,
Mm,
and that shit was so fucking good. It was just like, man, I don't
yeah,
think that was the first night. I don't think it got anything. It didn't get any better than that night.
yeah. Watain is one of my bigger inspirations when it comes to like stage antics, because I plan to do some pretty bloody shit on stage.
Oh, yeah, you gonna toss some blood out on stage?
Yeah, like kind of how like Mortus from Marduk does it when he takes like a chalice and
Yeah, yeah,
pours it
yeah.
down. Yeah, it's kind of like
So,
how I plan to do it. Yeah.
so, uh, so what inspires your songwriting besides, the themes of depression and suicide? I mean, is there any kind of imagery that's linked with your lyrics?
Um. I listen to a lot of film music. To be more specific, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and somewhat like that. And the darker parts of those soundtracks really creep me out sometimes, and I take that and think like, how can I use that same energy to paint it like a black metal painting, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so that's one inspiration. Other things, just shit that happened in my life, is a big inspiration too. Uh, Liars, uh, big inspiration too, because I had a lot of people around me who were lying to me constantly. I don't know fucking why, but
In the field, we call that assholes.
yeah, that's that's right. Especially on this new record, that they're lying or liars, it has been a pretty good inspiration, or assholes if we're using your term.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
So just bad shit around me, and then the normal bands like Saster, Leviathan, Life Lover, like those bands are really inspirational to me too.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, what is your day-to-day life like, man? If you don't mind me asking.
Right now it's pretty boring, but it's just waking up way too early to my liking, taking take the bus to school and whatever, and then try to do something in school. I didn't really give a shit about school anymore, and then go home and do whatever the fuck.
What you studying in school?
And media. It's like, and people ask me always like, "Why don't you go to music class?" And I was like, "I don't want to learn music theory. I'm a black metal guy. I'm not a prog nerd."
There you go.
Yeah,
That might change in a few years, though.
yeah, probably. I love Emperor. That's like my number one black metal band, and they're kind of proggy in some aspects. So maybe.
So, yeah, I was. I have the funniest stories that I love sharing about Ishan and his son because my second year going to Inferno,
Yeah.
uh, so at the Hub Hotel, I don't know if somebody was partying too hard or someone was just smoking in their room, but the fire alarm went off and they had to mass evacuate the entire hotel.
Oh.
Yeah, and like I don't know, it was something stupid like 3 in the morning. And it was snowing. It was snowing in the middle of the night, in the morning, whatever. And and I'm walking behind this gentleman and his son because he kept putting his hand on his son's shoulder just to, just to walk him down and guide him down the stairways and all that stuff.
Mm.
And I recognized the full black ponytail that he has, and I saw the glasses like that's motherfucking Ishan from fucking Emperor. And and sure enough, like we all got to the front of the street where all the buses are parked on that main, like in between the hub and like the city square, I guess the city center,
Mm.
and like all the hotel guests are just in their PJs or whatever, pajamas or whatever the case, and just like waiting for this fucking shit to end and get back in the goddamn hotel. And Ishan was like, "Are you having fun?" I was like, I'm having fun now that you're talking to me.
That sounds like an Ishan thing to do or to say.
It was pretty amazing, man. It's just like only in Norway where, in Inferno and you have a like all the who's who of like black metal, death thrash, whatever,
Yeah.
staying under one fucking roof and like experiencing that shit together. And it's like, the world becomes a smaller place, you
Yeah.
know. It's wild.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I went to wasn't at the Inferno Festival because I wasn't old enough, but I was in Oslo at the time, and I was meeting with a buddy, Torstein, shout out. And then yeah, we went to I think it was that hotel you were describing, and we went to like this auction thing.
Yes, yes, they
Yeah,
had the auction, for the Infernal Conference and all that stuff, yeah.
yeah, that was it. And then I didn't notice until like right before we left. The guy who was leading that shit was like the guitarist for Old Funeral
Yes,
and the Bombers. And I
yes,
was like, how the fuck did I not notice that before?
yeah, and, one of my good friends, here in the States, like, every year that he's been there, and I've been there, he owns a record shop in, Dayton, Ohio,
Yeah,
Catacomb Record shout out to Catacomb Records. Uh, this Tim got, like, fucking, a Metallica demo that Euronymous had in the shop.
that's
Like,
pretty fucking cool.
yeah, it was like maybe I don't know, one of maybe 100 of so many press copies of this demo. And there was other shit. There was like some mayhem memorabilia and whatnot, and it was just wild because he's like, yeah, and fucking he had a I think a record cover that was signed by Varg and everything. It was
It's
pretty
pretty cool.
fucking insane.
Or I don't know if I can say if it's cool if it's signed by Varg because he's a numbnut,
He's a
but he makes
he's
some pretty fucking good music though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least half the record I find. I mean, this is just my opinion, and if anyone wants to challenge me on that, that's fine. Go ahead. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
But like every album that Bursum put out, at least half or maybe two songs on the record I get down with. But I can't listen to the whole album. I don't know why. I just can't bring myself to it. But I'm more of a these guys fan.
Darkspawn, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I just they between Gorgoroth and Dark Throne and Immortal. I mean,
yeah,
that's who I discovered way back then, and and Emperor as well. It's like that's just the mainstays in the playlist, man. I mean, I
yeah,
don't deviate from that. And Bathory and Motorhead too. It's like
yeah,
all the old shit is still good, and it still carries weight.
yeah, for sure, man. Uh, yeah, I fuck with Mayhem, Emperor the most when it comes to like the Norwegian black metal. and Darkthrone, of course. And then when it comes to like DSBM, because that's my field when it comes to music,
Right.
it is Saster, of course, from US, Leviathan, or more specifically, 10th Sublevel record. And then Life Lover from Sweden are pretty fucking cool. Silencer in the very beginning, but then I grew a little tired of them because his vocals are cool, but they get a little overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
And then I listen to lots of different metal. Like one of my favorite bands ever is Cattle Decapitation from San Diego.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They are,
Very fucking abrasive, very hard, and
yeah,
just all over the place with the fucking riffs. It's just
yeah.
very technical.
I'm going to Oslo this February to see them live actually with
Hell yeah.
them and Shadow of Intent.
Hell yes.
I'm not a deathcore guy like at all, but Shadow of Intent I fuck with hard.
I got you. Yeah, I'm not much of a deathcore fan myself. I mean, it's just something that kind of like I never found it interesting.
Mm.
Well, lately I have a really good friend down here who's in a band called Writhings, and he just introduced me. I was late to the game when it comes to bands like His Hero Is Gone and Tragedy and Nightfell. Like, anything that Todd Burdett is involved with, it's just fucking killer, man. I highly
Yeah.
suggest that if you haven't heard about it, it's just like if you like blackened crust punk or D beat even, it's one of those bands that you will not forget. And if you ever feeling like in a negative mood or bad mood, whatever, put that shit on. Talk about you want your sense of empowerment to go through the roof. Put on some Hero Is Gone.
Hero Is Gone. Yeah, I'll try to remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely send you a link.
Yeah.
Once we break from here. But yeah, man, it's good to know you. It's good to put a name with the face and
Yeah.
and hear what you're involved with and hear what you're interested in, man. And so I'm looking forward to the next couple releases you got. And what's some cool shit you gonna do today?
Today, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm watching a film with some friends of mine, and once that's over, probably work on the new record and go to sleep. Probably.
There you go. Now, are you writing everything yourself and you just present it to the band
Yeah,
once you're done? Yeah.
that's probably what I do. And this new record is 10 minutes longer than the last one.
Hell yeah. So I don't know if you heard any episodes on how I do things, but I need to know what 6 albums you can't leave the house with. If the house is on fire, which 6 albums are you gonna take with you?
Great question. I'm gonna get my CD collection right now. Let me see. Fan i helvete. That was cursing in Norwegian, by the way.
Oh, okay. I need you to translate.
Fan i helvete means fucking hell.
Ah, got the goods.
Fitte. Alright. Now everything has fallen apart. That's perfect. Okay. But let me see. Here's the first one. Chimera by Mayhem. That's
Oh yeah.
one of the biggest ones for me. Actually, fun fact, the same day I bought this, I actually met Maniac.
Did you?
Yeah, outside like a nerd store in Norway. So that was kind of cool. Pretty cool guy. He was tattooed all over him, had Antichrist on his neck and everything. So yeah. And then Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk by Emperor. Like, of course,
Yeah.
everything about that record is yeah, magnificent, flawless. And then Ulvor Bergtatt.
Oh, that's the one, baby. That
Yeah.
is the one. Yes.
Yeah, fucking masterpiece of a record. And then let me see here. Whoa, okay. Yeah. Alright, and then Monolith of Inhumanity by Cattle Decapitation. That's when it comes to like heavy stuff and like more intricate vocal techniques like tunnel throat, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
This record does is all of that, you know. And then let's go down here. Oh, Bloody Cantation, fucking great record, but
Oh, Black Station, man. their old shit, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the Absolute Elsewhere is
Yeah,
I mean, it's great, but I am real privy to the first releases they put out.
yeah,
Hidden histories.
yeah.
So fucking good.
That's the one I have. And actually, fun fact before I go to the next record here, um, my friend Torstein, which I mentioned previously, he was at Beyond the Gates, and then he called me up on Snapchat, and he was like, "Hey, Astaroth, you need to meet this one guy. I think you know him." And then the camera pans over to Paul from Bloody Cantation. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was starstruck right there, man. That
Oh,
was
I bet,
fucking
dude.
cool.
I know. I mean, every time I go to Norway, I'm starstruck. Like
Yeah,
the people you meet over there, in the most random places. This is wild.
yeah. Okay, and then the next record, I'm probably gonna get some shit for this from like the really true black metal people who only listens to demos that are like listened to by 0.5 people, and is recorded on like a Nokia. But Dimmu Borgir, Spiritual Black Dimensions. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Dimmu
Yeah,
Borgir from 1993 to when ICS Vortex was fired.
yeah,
Fucking fantastic band. Like
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
I fucking love Isis Vortex's voice, and this was the first record with him on clean vocals. Yeah, just because there's some clean vocals on the next record. There was some in the first as well, but I amp it up a little bit in the next one. So, and that's the thank Isis Vortex for.
Fucking hey.
And then the last one is probably the most underground and unknown record I have in my collection, and it is a band from my area, Kristiansand, and it's project called Entropic Awakening
Oh wow,
with the
I
band
never heard of that. I need to check that out.
Epilogue. Yeah, it's I found this at the Helvete or Neseblo store under the disc, and I was trying to look for this because it's like one of my favorite records of all time. It's depressive, it's doomy, it's fucking heavy as shit at times, and I saw it and I was like, well, there you are. Let me pick you up. And lo and behold, it's been yeah. I played this thing like 5 times a repeat on my way home from Oslo.
Oh shit, that
On
must
that
be
trip.
really good then.
Yeah, that was fucking great record.
Fucking hey, man. So that's your 6 right there.
Yeah, I can come up with.
It's fucking amazing, man. I love it. That's and like I said, you're the first artist to come on the podcast with fucking corpse paint and
Yeah,
get the real grainy fucking filter on your camera. I love it.
yeah,
I man, this was probably the best Sunday I had in quite some time.
yeah, yeah.
Well, man, dude, thank you so much, Astaroth, for coming on, man, and listening to what I do on this little podcast that I'm holding together with some glue and kite string. So, thank you so much,
Yeah.
and
My pleasure.
looking forward to the next release. Looking forward to writing. But right now, you can catch your album on Spotify, and it's entitled.
Av mørke og ingenting.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. It was a great chat. I'll be seeing you in Oslo or Inferno. I'll keep in touch.
Yeah. Perfect, man.
All right, man.
Good
Thanks for joining.
night.